that war going on, if you will wash your mind with the water of the Word, you can set your mind on things above and actually put them on the same team. You can put them on the same side. You don't have to keep staying in the war. Put them on the same, draw a line, put them on the same side, and the war will cease. Someone else said it this way: the best way to conquer an enemy is to make him a friend. And so instead of battling and warring within yourself and feeling bipolar or schizophrenic, make him a friend. Make him a friend, and you'll actually stop the war. Ezekiel chapter 36 in verse 26 and 27 says, "A new heart also will I give you, and a new spirit I will put within you. And I will take away the stony heart out of your flesh, and I will give you a heart of flesh, and I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes, and you shall keep my judgments and do them." Because God puts a new heart in us, a new heart. Takes the stony one out and gives us a new heart that is sensitive and tender and compassionate. And I'm sure that most of you all have had attractions to people that you knew were not good for you. And your flesh wanted the relationship, but your spirit knew that it would be detrimental to you. And so a war ensues. And then your intellect says, "It's okay. I know what I'm doing. I know this is not my husband. I know this is not my wife. But it is Mrs. Right Now. This is Mr. Right Now. I'm going into this. I know this is not my husband." Have you nibbling on the cheese, just setting you up for it to snap. And then your spirit fires back to say that, "Listen, you know this is going to be just like a comfortable chair. It's going to be just like a comfortable bed, easy to get into, but hard to get out of." The mind fires back, "But you're lonely. Everybody needs somebody to appreciate them." And your heart retorts, "It's better to be alone than in bad company." Your heart tells you, you know something is not right with him. You know something is not right with her. You can't put your finger on it, but you know something is not right. And your heart begins to remind you of 1 Corinthians 15:33, "Be not deceived, bad company corrupts good character." Your heart just begins to remind you of certain things. And so even though you may know the truth in your heart, doing what is right is not always easy. Doing what is right is not always easy. It is a war. I know it's a war. But listen, the Bible says, fight the good fight of faith. Fight it anyway. Fight it. I know it's a fight. You're in a fight. You ought to be built for the fight. You're built for the fight. What are you going to be? Are you going to be a warrior or worrier? Just be determined in your spirit. I'm going to war through this thing. I'm not going to let this thing worry me. I'm going to fight through it. Every time worry comes to me, I'm going to war that thing down. I'm a war with the Word. I'm a war with my faith. I'm a war knowing that, that all things work together for the good of them that love God and who are called according to His purpose. All things, say all things. Here again is that polarity. It's not just one way. It's all the good things and the bad things. God will take the good and the bad, the positives and the negatives, the ups and the downs, the highs and the low, in sickness and in health. He'll take it in riches and in poverty, and He'll work all of it together. And God will say that, listen, you may not know how, but you better trust and know. And we know with assurance. We have certain certitudes in God, and this is one. We know that all things, say all things. All things work together for the good of them that love God and who are the called according to His purpose. That even if it was bad, you have to realize everything is either God sent or God used. And in some way, you can rest assured God is going to use this for His glory. God is going to use this to mature me. God is going to use this to bring a testimony of victory. God's going to use this so that I can strengthen other people and help to them because I am touched with the infirmities that they are dealing with. God will use it for your glory. And he's going to put you in a state of war so you can relate to other people who have a battle going on the inside of them, and they don't know how to fight their battle. But you're in a battle. Remember when Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane and he asked his beloved disciples, not just all of the crowd, not everybody who was hanging around him. He didn't ask Judas to come in there. But he did have Peter, James, and John, these close disciples to him who were close to his heart. And Jesus came in and he found them sleeping. And he asked the question, he said, "What? Could you not watch with me for 1 hour?" And then he said, "Watch and pray lest you enter into temptation." That word watch means give strict attention to. It means be cautious. Be cautious lest you enter or fall into temptation. And then he went on to say that the spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Again, there's that disparity between the mind and the heart. The mind and the heart. The mind and the heart. That's in Matthew chapter 26, verse 40 and 41. But please make a note of this. Praying alone is not enough to keep you from falling into temptation. Let me say that again. Praying alone is not enough to keep you from falling into temptation. You've got to watch. He said, watch and pray. Be aware. Be alert. Pay attention. Be cautious. Be cautious. When you know that you're around somebody sneaky, don't just pray, watch. Be alert. Be alert. Be alert. They're going to slip their hand around you. They're going to start pushing some buttons and turning some things on in you that you don't even know how to turn off. And then once your emotions get engaged, your judgment becomes cloudy. And then the stop signs become blurred. So he says, watch, watch. Tell your neighbor, watch. Don't just pray, watch and pray. In fact, when you watch, you'll know better how to pray. Watch, watch, watch. That's a key word. I've read this many, many times, but when I read that, watch jumped out at me. Watch jumped out at me. I guarantee you that every divorced person in this place and every divorced person who's listening to me, had you opened your eyes and watched, you now in retrospect can look back and see you saw every low-down sign that you later found out to be true. You saw it, but you weren't watching for it. If you watch and pray, oh, you prayed, but you didn't watch. If you just watched, that was a sign, that was a signal that he was giving you, that she was giving you, to let you know that something was duplicitous in their nature, that there was something underhanded, that there was something low down, that if you had you watched, you'd have been able to see that they had an addiction, that there was something strange about them that you couldn't quite put your finger on, but you knew something in the milk wasn't clean. You couldn't prove it, but had you just watched, just little things, little things. They told you that they really respected women, but you saw them snap on their mama. Oh, just little things, little things. And if you'd watched, you would have been able to see the compromise of their character in certain situations. See, God will show you. God will always show his children danger before they enter into it. He will always show his children, watch, watch, watch. Don't just pray, watch. You'll be surprised what you can see when you're just sensitive to God. You will see the signs. You'll see the signs. I know most of you now in retrospect, see, because hindsight is 20/20. It's like I knew that they were up to something because that rascal came up there and take you out to dinner and then tell you, oh, my wallet. That should have been a sign to you that he was looking for you to be the meal ticket.